How's it going, folks? My name is Aidan Hennessey. I am one of the lead actors for Quest Buds, and we're sitting in with actor, director, producer extraordinaire. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your favorite and mine, Brett, the Orc Barbarian.
Hey, how's it going there? Yeah, it's honestly a pleasure to be here. When, Aidan told me about the director's commentary, I was definitely not the only one that was free, but I was so honored to be asked to do this.
And it's an honor to have you. I mean, there really is no Quest Buds without you.
No, when I remember when we were first starting off this thing, the main producer and creator, Marty, he came up to me and he said, Brett, we'd really love to have you direct this and star in it. And I said, only if I can also produce it, because producing, of course, is my first love.
For the money, of course, for the money.
It's honestly more of a passion project of production, really. But the money, it does help, yeah. And now I remember I talked to Marty and I said...
God, I just want to say for his family, rest in peace, Marty.
Rest in peace, Marty, yeah, honestly. It is rare to see someone die of an infected ingrown toenail, but that's why you got to go to the doctor, unfortunately.
You got to go to the doctor.
You gotta go to the doctor.
People are saying you don't have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the doctor.
Well, and that really just became with the whole COVID thing and the new normal thing, but I don't want to get political on this. But yeah, no, I was talking to Marty, and I was worried about...
Which Quest Buds was a COVID project.
It was during kind of the middle of COVID. Marty came to me and he told me about that he wanted to do a low-end production of a D&D improv show, and I said, Marty, you had me at D&D improv show. And I was worried, though. He said, I want you to play an orc barbarian. I said, haven't there been enough posh British orc barbarians?
And he said, so many posh British orc barbarians.
And we both felt it was a little played out. So
I mean, let's just name our favorite just off top because it's such a popular trope.
Ragrolf, obviously.
Ragrolf. Oh, and he would go into the store, and he was Dick Van Dyke. He would be counter Dick Van Dyke, and they would do that whole that whole production, falling and slapstick.
Actually, not a lot of people know this. The person who does mocap for Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy is a posh British orc. His name is Gronk, good friend of mine, friend of the family.
You're kidding. You're
kidding.
kidding.
Yeah, no, he's honestly a great guy. Doesn't miss a Christmas with us.
Now, that's something a lot of people don't know through your Quest Buds performances, but you're actually classically trained.
Yeah, no, classically trained in Oxford and Cambridge as well. I finished my master's there. And I was actually really honored a couple of years ago to be able to perform at the Bard's Theater at the Globe.
Wow. Now, a lot of people have said that Quest Buds feels to them as sort of Commedia dell'arte inspired in their sort of usage of stock characters. Does that come from your classical background?
That's such an interesting question. At first I probably wouldn't have thought that, but now that you've pointed it out, I think it might have been. I think that, these things kind of come subconsciously, and they kind of embed themselves in the way you work in your creative process. So, yeah.
So that could kind of be Marty's sort of influence in the whole thing, you think, maybe?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's tough to say. Marty, he was such a genius with the way he worked. Constantly just coming up with ideas. I remember in our most recent show, if you haven't seen it, there's a moment where I say that I'm going to fuck Santa in the ass. And that was actually left over from a conversation where Marty and I were in Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, Piccadilly Circus. Yeah. Classically Piccadilly Circus. God, so many memories of the Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, I remember he turned to me and he said, I think I want to fuck Father Christmas in the ass. And I said, Marty, that's such a wild thing to say, but it really stuck with you.
And then and that's the sort of thing is he would have these sort of, to a lay person, it would seem like a rambling. It would seem like a truly schizophrenic man. And then
it was starting to go towards the end now.
It would sit with you for years, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, the best ending of this story would be to fuck Santa in the ass."
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where they say that a person dies, but their ideas live on. And I always thought that was kind of silly because, no, when a person's dead. But quite frankly, they're not wrong because Marty's still in the room with us.
Yeah.
Every day.
That infected toenail and all.
Well, we try and leave that part out.
All right. Well, it's been a blast talking to you, but I think some folks want to get to the movie. So folks playing here with us, we're starting the movie here in 3, 2, 1.
Legends passed on by your forebears tell of a bard whose quill-penned ballads which warm the hearts of the most frigid emperors.
Now, can you talk me through this animation here? What gave you the idea for this? I mean, this is just so out of the box.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, actually, so what's funny is that that bard was actually based off of close friend of the family, Ed Sheeran.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when we were trying to get his likeness for it, he said, I'm not going to allow it. I will sue. So we had to kind of work around it.
God. I see. Well, so Frank Pearson, the artist behind the animation, what made you think their sort of style was sort of perfect for this?
So there was a few things. There's, I've seen his past work, which I've always been kind of impressed with, but really it came down to the ridiculously low budget that he would work for. Just pennies on the hour.
Oh my God. And they worked for him too. They worked.
Oh, we worked his fingers to the bone, and
it was frankly disgusting to see. They were so skinny by
I
the
think
end of it.
even Walt Disney would be appalled by our labor practices with that
Land is dangerous and full of murderers, thieves, and
who's this handsome guy?
But there are still rules. This is your avatar. This will be your representative. They'll be taking your input in any given scenario on what they should do.
Now, I remember when we were in the writer's room for this part, and, everyone was saying, let's not go with Aidan. And I was like, no, I think we can take a risk on this one, because we've used David Britton for so many things. And, but, everyone thought it was crazy, but quite frankly, looking at this, I think we can see how it really turned out.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we've had a budding relationship, me and David, sort of, like there's been sort of character evolution in this sort of exploration of the meta-narrative of the Questmaster, I think this is the first appearance of the Avatar, which, I mean, what an addition to the show.
We got sued by David Cameron so hard.
Which is messed up, right?
Yeah.
Avatar, they used it in video games. They use it in all these different sort of artistic endeavors. And we bring it to improv comedy, and boom, big lawsuit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually how they were able to fund Avatar 2 was from the money they won from us on the suit.
But it's just one of those things if you realize, wow, Bob Iger knows my name.
Yeah, no, I mean, he does kind of send letters to my house every year with it's a picture of you with your eyes crossed out.
Like scratched out with the dimes? That's weird. He sends me the same picture of you.
I think he might have our addresses mixed up. And Poops the Cowboy, I remember being on the cutting room floor there, fighting so hard for that.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
wanted to cut it out, and I said, I will fucking walk out if Poops the Cowboy is not.
And what did they say? They said it's juvenile. They said it'll never
They called it
sit.
sophomoric and unnecessary, and quite frankly, I thought to myself, I think I'm in a room full of fools and idiots.
And that's what they call you. That's what they call you 5 years before they call you a genius.
Mm-hmm.
But it does win the race. It does.
Mm-hmm.
In this round, we'll also have skill checks. Sometimes when an adventurer tries an action, it will require a skill check. Then I will ask you to roll a dice and loudly proclaim thy number. For our wonderful Poops the Cowboy.
I'm still gutted that I wasn't able to make this episode. I remember the day before,
I know. I remember you said you just burned so much fossil fuel in your private jet back from the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, no, and then unfortunately, I ate some gas station sushi the day before the show, and my grandfather always said, if you can't trust gas station sushi, what can you really trust?
What can you trust?
And unfortunately, he's rolling in his grave today.
Joke's on him.
I shat through my toilet.
Now, see, the E-Block, that's one of those things of, local people in the local music scene, they know them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that reference was going to blow the roof off the place.
Yeah, you did?
No one got it.
I say this with no sarcasm in my voice. I'm so shocked.
I know. True. I think plebeians of the game would have, maybe said Drake or any number of popular musicians at the time. But I think I stand by my guns of, support local,
See, I think
vintage even.
Plebeians would say plebeians because they don't know how to pronounce the word.
All right, I would definitely keep it close to you so you can read the numbers. Wait, oh God, I'm supposed to tell you. God damn it.
I'm glad that this is one of the earlier shows, and you can definitely tell that because we recently changed to giving them boxes.
Giving them boxes.
Yeah.
You can lie. You can lie.
I think we did have boxes. I think I just forgot to give them out.
Oh. Yeah, we run a tight ship here at Quest Buds.
Yeah. Can I tell you how many lawsuits spawned from that zip line?
I was gonna say I remember legal coming to me the day after the show,
and they said
they had ulcers that they had developed, and they said, "You let Zulk go on fucking what?"
There were 2 meetings that day. I remember it clearly. I come back to the office, and finance comes to you, and they go, "We're rich. You're millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have trouble if we shoveled this money into a burner. We'll never run out." And then legal comes to you that same day, and they're like, "We're broke. Not only are we broke, legally we're going to hell."
It was so interesting, like the dramatic highs and lows of going from Pablo Escobar money to functionally poor simply because of a zip line is an experience that I think everyone should experience at least once.
So, I mean, let's just go through the list of the lawsuits. First, every audience member that could see up Zulk's skirt, lawsuit. Every single one.
That was a lot of sexual harassment lawsuits, yeah.
Yeah.
We won a couple of them, though.
And you see that fall right there? Mm-hmm. That is maybe $3 million. Zulk, a lot of people don't know this. Zulk is the richest Quest Bud.
They were, honestly. They've recently kind of, unfortunately, they've gotten really deep into heroin. Which, with the way fentanyl is out there these days, you have to be rich to be able to do real heroin these days.
And, they're usually into dragon scale. They're usually into fairy dust. They really got into fentanyl because of, again, that fall breaking every single bone in their body.
No, I remember. That fall, I thought to myself, that's it. That's how you get addicted. And sure enough, they got the pain pills. They got addicted to that, and then it's just a natural evolution.
I mean, it's sad to see, really. It's
I'll say this: they may be a horrible heroin addict, but they know how to put together a fucking show.
That's so fucking
consummate
true.
Professional.
God damn. Another classically trained actor.
Yo, Luna, yeah. Went to Juilliard. Not a lot of people know that. What's great about Luna's performance is she never lets on that she's classically trained.
But I think you can sort of see it in the small details, right? Mm-hmm. Like in we were going for this type of half elf angle, And we're like, how do we portray to the audience that this is a half elf? You know, in many ways, right? In species, in spirit, sexually, half an elf.
Half an elf. Yeah.
But what are the small details they put together to indicate that they're a half elf? One elf ear.
I mean, honestly, you can't think of something like that without, like, really knowing the world inside and out.
By God, a druid and a turtle. This is going to get spicy, folks. The quest buds reluctantly join your party.
Now, I always found this was interesting, is that this was one of the only shows where the Avatar was the main character, and the quest buds were people that joined them. And I remember at the time, my assistant floated the idea, and I looked at them, and I remember going, "You're fired, obviously."
And and then you followed it up. I remember this. I mean, this is just clear as day in my mind.
You were there, and you took the idea, and you kind of ran with it.
Yeah, and
much
I said,
against what I wanted.
I said, if you don't get off this lot right now, I'm gonna fucking hunt you. I have a spear in my desk, and I am gonna chase you back to where you come from.
Honestly, I'm surprised the spear in your desk hasn't gotten us more lawsuits. But
well, here's a trick. There's no spear in my desk. Therefore, the interns, they come, they drop the lawsuit on the desk. It goes into discovery. Where's the spear? No spear.
Either they have terrible lawyers or you have great lawyers, because I don't think that's how any of that works. Now, I remember Will Hughes, old classic friend of the show.
Oh, God. See, he's one of the actors where you go, he must be classically trained, not classically trained.
No, he actually started acting a week before we started doing this.
Oh, my God. And you know what? After this, he started playing catch so that in the future he would catch balls. He ended up playing Major League Baseball for the Orioles.
Orioles, big fan. Cal Ripken Jr. was one of my personal heroes growing up in Tottenham, which, a young man in Tottenham, what would he be doing idolizing American baseball? But, it came through on one of our channels that on Annie would put on, and I caught an episode here and there, and I just fell in love with the game ever since.
I mean, can I just say Boss Ripken, it really sort of strikes me as the name that George Lucas would give a bounty hunter in Star Wars. Boss Ripken.
Boss Ripken, yeah. That's...
The quest buds have to endure the turnip car driver for the hours while approaching the festival. Let's see that.
All right, everyone aboard the turnip car.
I'm not that happy, you bitch!
No, but these turnips are fortified with 1/14 their daily requirement of calcium.
There must be a more efficient way to do this. Do you not have a horse?
I don't have a horse. I had to sell them so I could buy more turnips from the central manufacturer, My Turnip.
How many turnips do you own in total?
It's not about how many turnips I have. It's about how many friends I've made along the way who have also decided to go with the life of the turnip, which you totally should do.
Which, 0 friends?
They're not friends. They're turnip buddies.
You said we could be our own boss?
Absolutely. You can be your own boss with your own cart just like this.
How much money does Zulk have to pay for this amazing opportunity?
Well, how many friends does Zulk have that you can bring in? Where'd your powers come from, Zulk?
From beyond our mortal knowledge!
All right, do they need turnips there?
They think they're a garbage vegetable.
They are not a garbage...
No, what's actually kind of funny, we had to put the pro turnip thing in because we were running into some financial difficulty. So we actually got sponsored by Big Turnips. And, once again, shout out to the turnip farmers of the world. They're the people making this country run.
That's so true. And it's one of those things of, you start selling turnips. and then you get 3 people under you selling turnips. You're selling a lot of turnips real quick.
Yeah, that's the reverse funnel system of sales.
The reverse funnel system.
Now, when should the high start?
The high starts when you have 3 people beneath you that you can stand on top of. Every turnip they sell, let me tell you what we're talking about.
Please.
So, think of this all as art.
You know, it's actually so funny. We got in big trouble with the Madoff family after this. Yeah. No, it turns out they're still very upset when people kind of talk about what their father did.
Yeah. No, it's and so every year we get that letter from Bob Iger, and then we get one from the Madoff family, and then we also get one from Brian Thompson's family. We actually were getting those from Brian Thompson's family before the whole Luigi Mangione thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, they've never really been a fan of the things that we've done. We've always been kind of an anti-healthcare message in our shows. And which actually, it's why that when Brian Thompson did get gunned down in the street, the FBI did investigate us very briefly.
Yeah, and see, when Eric Adams said we have a name, and it wasn't Luigi Mangione, it was Brett.
Yeah, no, I spent half a day in the offices of Homeland Security, which was a real pain in the ass because I had so many plans that day. I was going to buy a Whole Foods, and then I just kind of went down the drain.
Yeah, you're going to buy a Whole Foods, specifically to make it more upscale.
Yeah, no,
so that less
I felt
poor people
that
could eat that.
The Whole Foods in New York City weren't gentrifying it fast enough. And so I wanted to kind of we're still workshopping the name, but it's called Whole Foods.
Yep. Everything certified organic, certified. And if you walk in there's a little fumigation sensor, and if you smell kind of bad, right out the door. That's
what we're working on right now. I think eventually we want to move on to a perfume system where you immediately get sprayed by something like by Chanel or Armani or something like that. So
what's something like that going to cost you, and how do you expect to get sort of returns on that?
It is basically just Whole Foods, but we've quintupled the price of the food.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of, we are going to have a bouncer at the door, and he's going to let everyone in, but it's going to feel exclusive.
It's kind of like going to the club.
Only instead of grinding on an ugly woman with low lighting, you will be buying produce.
Yes, that is famously the distinction between a grocery store and a club.
I'm in love with an old town salt. That's how the song goes. Here's what it's based on.
17. I know that song. Yeah, come on in.
Eat shit, Luna.
Inside the tent are Perla's opening pant. In orc. Come on, let's orc. Orc it up. A goblin and a troll. Together they are the 32nd Man-Eaters.
I remember we had so many orcs rights groups.
You see that fall right there?
Yeah.
Right there? Yep, that was another lawsuit.
Well, we had so many, by showing off orcs like this, we had so many orc right groups on our ass. And I remember being like, well, I'm an orc. How could you say that I'm not going to portray them in a positive light? And it just goes to show that,
I'm sorry, were people saying that this wasn't orcs in their most positive light?
it just goes to show, with this fucking woke society that we have, it's just, you can't do anything these days.
Don't even get me started. Orcs can't even commentate on their own society, on their own people?
No, I mean, just having a little bit of fun with some orcs is not... It's a whole thing.
It's owning it is what it is. No one looks at Spike Lee and goes, you're making blaxploitation movies.
No one ever watched Do the Right Thing and thought, well, that's a bad representation of black people.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared.
Perla these nuts? Like...
Perla, the person you're opening for.
Oh, yes, the Golden Bar. Yes, of course.
Now, how did you meet the 32nd Men, and what sort of stood out to you that made them the right fit for Quest Buds?
Oh, yeah. A couple of things. One, fantastic actors. Quite, truly masters of their craft. And second, and I think maybe a little more important, they were undocumented workers, so they would work for pennies on the dollar.
Nothing.
Oh, my God. I mean, they were practically paying us to act in this. The saddest thing is, the day after the show, I had to call ICE on them and get them deported.
and then it was hard to find their address, so you couldn't really pay them.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows where they went? And so...
God, it's so sad.
I really wish I didn't have to do that, but ultimately the books are the books.
You're a citizen here, you know.
Sorry, oops, the cowboy. The locksmith.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Hey, well, I don't think it's political to say that, as an American.
I specifically said that, when they started this citizenship thing, it's a little in the air right now, so before you not bring it up, I just think it's a little, really unprofessional right now.
I'm just saying you're a great patriot.
Something like that. All right, let's move on.
I'm considerably more relaxed than I was before.
They can't unless one of them's a cop. Keyed off their asses, the 32nd Men remember that they were once bandmates of the Golden Bar.
Oh, yes.
Snorting cocaine brings back good memories with the Golden Bar.
Now, what's actually kind of funny is this is loosely based off of John Bono's life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone called him the Golden Singer guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so this is not a lot of people are going to know that. But
Bono, who you also are family friends with.
Bono is a close personal friend of mine, yes. We do spend New Year's together every year. But, yeah, no, I remember I was talking to him and said, Bono, you've lived such an interesting life. And I kind of floated the idea to him, and I remember him saying, if you do that, I will sue the ever-living shit out of you. So we had to change some things with some liberties. There were a lot less orcs, and there weren't as many mythical figures in his life. But quite frankly, I think we got the tone of it right.
But, I think with maybe the release of this DVD, maybe we could get the options for the Bono life story.
And that's kind of what Quest Buds has always been working to, is getting to a point of getting enough sort of recognition artistically to be able to convince Bono to give us his life rights.
Let me try that one again.
And I think that's a great goal. Mm-hmm. I think when Marty sat down initially, yeah, I think his imagination went beyond Bono. I think he was thinking McCartney. I think he was thinking George Washington.
I know at one point he did mention Bowie, so I think Iggy Stardust was always kind of like a favorite of his. Yeah.
Looks like this. Bring it back to the Avatar, who
Now, see, this is something you haven't brought back, sort of an ARG, alternate reality game kind of element, engaging the audience. Why haven't you brought that back?
Well, the problem is working with a live audience is a lot like working with an untrained animal in film. Every once in a while, they'll give you exactly what you want. But so many times, you just end up with, I just remember, I'm sorry to stop there, but I remember hearing these guys play for the first time. And it was right around here that I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to call ICE on these guys.
I was crying for that fact. I'm like, their music is so beautiful.
Yeah.
But as my duty as an American.
Yeah.
Since I'm an American.
Yeah, yes.
We have to call ICE on them.
You say something.
You see something, you say something.
Yeah.
You know, we're all living on this train. This train being America.
Yes. I love the United States of America.
And again, we're kind of sick of the woke mob attacking this great country.
I mean, it's just, you can't. I just feel like you can't say anything anymore.
Like, you had sex with Santa Claus on stage, and people got offended?
It's just like, if you can't have sex with Father Christmas, then who can you have sex with on stage?
And let me guess. White Santa. He was when you were done with him, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
We had a white Christmas that year.
listening to the Quest Buds podcast. You are listening to, obviously, a very special episode. This is the director's commentary for the Quest for the Golden Bard. If you'd like the video for this episode, that will be in the description of this show. What will also be in the description is the dates for our upcoming show. That's going to be March 29th at Bard and Baker in Troy, a lovely little board game cafe, and we love being there, and you should love seeing us there. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of the show. I really hope those guys are doing well.
Yeah, no, I mean...
High on the life of being a star, the Golden Bard enjoyed the company of many.
Now, this was
men,
controversial
women,
when we
and
first did it, which...
Yeah, people sort of thought it was a statement on maybe some gender identity stuff.
No, the statement was just that the guy liked to fuck.
Exactly.
Not everything has a message, you know? It's not all that deep.
And it's so tragic. He fucked so much. His penis fell off.
He nearly ground down his fucking tongue.
And it speaks to this sort of like Hegelian metaphor of this like most ancient stories, you know? And is the woke mob going to cancel the Epic of Gilgamesh?
I did hear they recently came for Beowulf.
Yeah. The voice actor on this, where'd you find her?
Honestly, she was the girl I get my coffee from.
Oh.
And I remember she said, large latte for Greg. And as I grabbed it and took a sip, I said, this isn't a black coffee. And my name is Brett. And she gave me a look, and I thought to myself, there's a face for voice actor.
Yes, you know what? It's sort of jogging my memory now. And instead of paying her extra to do the voice acting, I would change my order every day so that she said every single word of that promotional material.
It was really tough on the editing room floor, but
I think it came out great.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly.
And must figure out how to put it out. That's right. If the Quest Buds aren't careful, they'll have to face their greatest enemy yet. Traditional Dungeons & Dragons combat. Set forth, the Quest Buds approach.
Whoa. Boys, big feet stomping through my forest. I'm getting through here.
You're a tree. We could just walk around you.
Don't do that.
Now, this was actually supposed to be like a pro fracking message. And it really kind of got lost. And like, it ended up kind of coming off as like a pro environment message, which, you know, while it wasn't the intention, it does work, and I'm fine with it.
And you know, James Cameron, he comes out with his Avatar movie, and it's all anti-fracking and pro-environment, and we can't have our sort of counter-narrative Avatar story echo chamber much.
Yeah, I mean,
A four.
Oh.
The sycamore's, he's a little sad.
I need to be alone. You can just go.
Oh, maybe not that sad.
I'm not that sad, actually.
Like a little sad.
That one.
Now, Shea Paradise, I mean, what an electric actor. You know?
yeah.
Some would accuse them of sort of whenever there's supposed to be an obstacle, they kind of kowtow to the first thing the Quest Buds try.
Yeah. That is by design. I remember I pulled Shay aside the first day and I said, listen to me. A lot of people are going to tell you a lot of different things. But if you don't fucking just agree with the first thing that we say, you'll be back on the street so goddamn fast. And I gotta say, they took to that advice real well.
And you know, that's incredible, because I remember being there, and I didn't hear what you said, but I remember just getting right up in their ear and saying, if you don't do what they said, I didn't hear what they said, but if you don't do what they said, I'm going to hunt you like a fucking animal. And I have a spear in my desk.
You know, say what you will about the hunt, like, it's the most dangerous game for a reason.
and it gets results.
Absolutely.
You're looking, what you're seeing on the screen right now, you're looking at that and you're not saying they did everything right.
I'm looking at a screen full of people making the right choice right now.
And that's the thing about Quest Buds is we're always making the most interesting choice. You know, we're never sort of going for that sort of vulgar cheap shot. We're going for character development.
Well, and we've always tried to go kind of high road comedy, not stay away from the fart jokes, stay away from any sort of like lowbrow drug jokes, things like that. We want to kind of be like the thinking man's D&D improv.
And did you see that? It shows in the videography direction, you know? Did you see those Dutch angles showing the tree shaking? Yeah, that's art. That's art.
It is interesting watching, like, seeing the different directorial influences on the camera work here. There's a lot of Aronofsky influences.
Yes.
I remember talking to one of the cameramen.
I was Will Fredette, head videographer. I mean, great work.
Absolutely. Which I'm glad that we got him, because our first videographer, I remember I was talking to him and I asked him, what are some of your influences? And he said, Step Brothers, and I fired him on the spot.
And then you won't believe this. What I said to him as soon as you fired him,
you threatened to hunt him.
I said, if you don't get off this fucking lot right now, I'm going back to my office. I'm getting the spear that I have in my desk, and I will hunt you like a dog.
You know, one of these days, someone is going to call you on that bluff, and I gotta say, that will be an interesting day, because I do hope to see someone be hunted for sport.
And then, and you know what? I might not have the spear, but I've been practicing. You know, you don't threaten, on average, once a month, somebody with hunting them, again, like an animal, without imagining it in your mind a couple of times.
You gotta bring it out in the mind's eye. Now, this is so interesting here. The moment of Will Hughes doing here is actually based off of the Iliad in the traditional war with Troy.
You know, I saw that and I said Greek theater, but I didn't get Iliad. You know, now that you say that, it makes so much sense.
And the Quest Buds have always been kind of rooted in the Greek theater. We do lack kind of the chorus part of it, but
like I said, I mean, Commedia dell'arte, right? I mean,
exactly.
Greek inspirations.
Well, this seems easy. We just use this key to...
I mean, you know, little company secret. You know, if I could be so indulged to tell people.
Oh no, of course, please.
Basically, every Quest Buds episode is sort of a modern to high fantasy transcription of a classic story, you know? So you really can.
Yeah, I remember the first one that we did was the Iliad word for word.
Yeah.
The second one, obviously, we followed up with the Odyssey.
And then we went to the Utica Comedy Festival.
Yes.
You know,
and
one of my best memories.
Quite frankly, I remember a standing ovation to a packed house that night. And that one was actually based off of Oedipus Rex.
Wow. You know, I always sort of got Dante's Inferno out of that, but I think the sort of the narrative of a sort of damned man, I think it's maybe universal across time. I didn't pull those, you know.
And then this one, obviously based off of John Bonner's life. And then after that, we went back and we based it off of Romeo and Juliet, one of the more classic tales.
Yeah, classically, and
but it was the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio that we did.
Yes.
His head
Break the door.
Turn up.
Well, Zoe, I have an idea. This door,
Wait, did someone say lick the door?
This was also one of the sexual
Yeah, no, I was
lawsuits,
going to say, sued the shit out of us on this one, which was why Zulk is. Oh, they actually licked you.
They sure did.
Yeah, that's why they got so much money from us.
And I didn't sue.
No,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you seemed like you were pretty ready for that.
Well, I think I was lining myself up to be licked by Liam. And then Zulk sort of interceded.
Yeah.
Again, in kind of a classic Antigone style of divine intervention.
Honestly, it's one of those things when you, as you know, are basically the Harvey Weinstein of improv comedy, you kind of are just down to get licked by anyone. Man.
Well, okay, so I think I get that comparison a lot, but I don't think it's necessarily for my exploits off the stage. I really think it's for my sort of vision.
You are molesting people on stage.
It's for my vision.
Yeah.
Every tapestry painting says the same thing. The cat knows the way. They look around and see a cat on a high shelf. Nothing they say or do will let the cat talk to them or even come near them.
Oh, adventurers, I hope none of them pet my belly.
Why is it always got to be a horny problem?
Oh, you're right. What kind of horny?
Now, see, some people, when they think about like quest bud scenes, you know, they think plot necessary ones. Those were probably written by Aidan, and the horny ones were probably written by David Britton. But actually, it's the other way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you do kind of, admittedly, shoehorn in a lot of horniness.
Now, see, this is a start of a trope of when I'm DMing.
To knock all the dice off, yeah.
The characters kind of, take all the dice and knock them off the table and make me moderately upset. But the really funny part is I'm very seldom the person to face the consequence of there being a bunch of tiny pieces on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's kind of it's kind of like it's kind of, cutting off the nose to spite one's face.
Yes. And it's that again, another workplace compensation situation.
Oh yeah, no, actually OSHA we have a lot of OSHA fines.
Can we get a successful transformation?
In cat language. 17.
Now, what's so interesting about this scene is that it is an allegory for the myth of Sisyphus.
That's so true. You keep trying again and again. Cat. Now, we do diverge from the myth of Sisyphus, where if you just don't roll the boulder, you're free. And I think that's an important distinction. And that's part of the thought experiment, right?
Well, I mean, but by not rolling the boulder, I mean, if we look to, I believe it was Kant. If we don't roll the boulder, then we can't find a...
That is one... Okay. I'm going to say that's 1d4 damage both ways. And that would be 2 cubes if I had any cubes left on the table. Oh, no, I have cubes. Oh, thank you. There we are.
Whoa, thank gosh. That ruined it. That was terrifying. Cats eat turtles.
Oh.
So I'm hardening my shell on this.
Oh, hey, cat.
Well, as it turns out,
Oh my God,
a lot of animal rights groups got on us about that scene. And they weren't even, upset with us. We just got a lot of confused letters being like, cats have never eaten a turtle. And I've been challenging them ever since, and I've been trying, mostly by buying lots of endangered turtles and having cats try and eat them. And so far, mixed results.
Mixed results as in some turtles eating cats, some cats eating turtles.
Mostly, actually, turtles just eating cats.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that. And that's kind of like Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill, If you don't roll the boulder up the hill, maybe this is your last time rolling the boulder up the hill,
That's so profound.
And that's kind of the cat.
Yeah.
That's the turtle, surprisingly eating the cat.
Oh, yeah, it's over there.
That's such a profound thought experiment that you've brought forward. And I think everyone kind of listening to that has really benefited from it.
It was one cohesive thought, beginning to end.
Yeah, if there was one way I would describe that is cohesive. Absolutely.
There is no drummer. The band is present, but there is no drummer.
Now, a lot of people would say 2 musical acts, that's too many. It's bordering on musical theater. But,
Which, God forbid.
oh God, no, what is this, Les Mis? Exactly.
Look around, but there is no golden bar.
Sorry, 2 musical acts bordering on musical theater.
Oh, yeah, no, it's... But, I think that you can't really break the rules without knowing the rules. And if we've shown one thing here, it's that we know...
It's been me. I'm the golden, the DM.
Now, this was interesting, the changing of the DM character right at the end.
See, we're sort of playing with meta-narratives, and it's one of those things, Hunter Campbell, he said, a twist should recontextualize the entire narrative. But I thought we could subvert that and make the twist completely pointless.
And I'm so glad you brought up meta narrative because this is sponsored by Meta. Get all of your social media needs through the metaverse, Facebook, Instagram. Check them out online. I think you're going to have a really great time. Anyway, that was the first
Meta.
little plug.
Plug in, tune out.
Yes.
The Golden Bard would like the audience to know that they forgot they had to learn a drum solo for the show, and the Golden Bard has never played this specific drum set before, ever in their life.
Oh, this is gonna be easy then.
Now, what a lot of people don't know is that this is the exact drum beat from the first take of Abbey Road.
Shay, a lot of people don't know this, is actually related to George Harrison.
Oh, they just shattered a cymbal.
What will the quest buds do? Can anyone defeat the golden bard in a
Zolt
drum off?
can do it! Zolt can do it!
Yeah, that cymbal is completely ruined.
I hear there's something to custom drum sets where, maybe some drummers prefer that shape and style.
Oh, like when they play bad on purpose as an artistic thing, yeah.
Look, this is presently being resolved in court, and we don't want to pay for the symbol.
Someone. Maybe a man-eater? Maybe someone who likes to eat men? You! Yes, you!
Actually, people don't realize is that is Travis Barker's drum teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, it cost us thousands of dollars for that.
And some think that that's the Pornhub theme, but it's actually a reference to 13th century musical theater. It's actually one of the first pieces of written music ever recovered.
Yeah, no, it was. Everyone thinks that recovered music, they would always think, surely there's something earlier than the 13th century. But no, 1400 was when...
1400, the first
piece of music ever recovered. Everything since then lost in the fires of Alexandria.
God, so sad. The fires of Alexandria.
Where's that singing coming from?
creative choice of using Dragon Force in a Dungeons and Dragons show.
It's sort of, I would say that's the nichest reference we've made. All this sort of like thought about Greek theater and tragedy and 13th century, recovered pieces. I would say,
Dragon Force.
Yeah. That's probably the deepest cut.
Hello. I'm the Golden Bard. Cool. We're gonna play some original Golden Bard songs.
Now, what attracted you to a judgmental swarm of bees?
There's a lot of things that really attracted me to them. When I first heard this sound, I remember thinking this is some of the most unique sounding music I've ever heard. And that's, when you're looking for good music, you want to find unique. And then, once again, they played for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I think, they worked for 50 cents and a cup of coffee.
And they also DM at the end.
Yeah.
So,
no,
I mean
we got the amount of value that we got for that.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was saying it's so funny. I don't remember signing off on 3 musical performances in one show.
Well, I mean, I think in Marty's defense, again, this was the last show we ever got to do with Marty. Rest in peace. His toe at that point, I mean,
it was
holy shit.
3 times the size of his foot. He couldn't even walk at that point.
Yeah.
This does feel like something that he would do, though, where he kind of, he would bring an idea past you and you'd okay it, and then he would take it another step further without you even realizing it. And, it'd be something that you would fight, but the end result you just couldn't argue with.
And then just all of a sudden, you're in Marty's hotel room with your wife, and you're in the chair, and he's having sex with your wife, and you're like, I didn't know I wanted this, but I did.
Oh, I think that might just be you. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, I'm not speaking literally. I'm saying metaphorically.
This feels
with
very specific.
With a third musical act being, that.
Listen, no, I mean,
that's Marty having sex.
That's one of those things.
Wife.
Is that why you and Sheila split?
No.
Okay, moving on. I remember the flute player in the wizard's hat came up to me afterwards, and she said to me, she's like, do you think we did a good job? And I remember looking at her, and I said, oh, darling, I don't listen to music.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, every musical act I put on in earplugs, so I didn't have to.
There we go. I wanted that clean. But your quest has just begun.
Can someone grab the die? The big one. So can someone grab the big one, please? The big one. There they are. All right. Welcome to the Honey Pot Bar and Grill. You're all bugs. All of you. You all enter in mob formation, and you see everyone's favorite bartender, affectionately named Daddy, a ladybug.
Now, did you hear about what happened to Daddy?
Chris accidentally stepped on, right?
Accidentally stepped on with a bus.
Oh, I mean, that's sad. That's actually how Groucho Marx went, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The video came out eventually, sort of. There was a lawsuit, and the bus pulls up to the curb, right, as it does.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Daddy, and he steps off the bus. The bus narrowly avoids Daddy, lets someone off the bus.
Right. Oh, man. You hate to see
damn.
that kind of thing happen.
God, it's so sad.
Yeah,
so sad.
it's real sad.
3,000 children.
On the bus.
Orphaned right there. Oh,
Wow.
on the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
You never really think about ladybug children.
Yeah, but they have children too.
Yeah?
Those animal rights groups.
You never see any bug rights groups. I think it's just because there's too many of them.
That's so true. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they made that big stink about the cats and the turtles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then where are they when our friend dies? Our friend Daddy.
And that's how it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, can we talk a little bit about the Rock Gym? What a unique venue for you to choose for an improv show.
Oh, God, yeah. No, there was one of those things where I remember I walked in and I saw it and I thought to myself, this place is being underutilized by just being a rock gym. And it was that. And then, of course, the owner actually owed me a favor, so we were able to use it for free.
That's what. Do you know why'd the owner owe you a favor?
Oh, I had a lot of blackmail on him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I found out he was embezzling money from his charity organization for about a decade now. Yeah, no, I had him run by the short hairs.
God bless. And I mean, it worked out so good. I mean, what a perfect space for it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance of us going back, do you think?
Oh, no, I burned that bridge. He said, I'll give it to you this one time, but after this, you get it. Yeah. No, which is a shame because he was an old family friend. But I don't think I'll be seeing him on Boxing Day.
Okay, an old family friend, so I presume British royalty. Or not, cultural royalty.
This was a friend of the family through a house.
Are we... Okay. Any royal titles?
Mm-hmm.
Let's qualify royal title as Count, Esquire.
Actually, Esquire is for a lawyer.
Prince. You're right, and in your native England, it's a baron.
There's dukes.
Oh, there are dukes?
Yeah, dukes, yeah. The Duke of Wellington.
The Duke of Wellington.
Yeah, no, close personal friend. We see him every Easter.
Now, see that exit sign in the background that is clearly just a wall. Is that a reference to Jean-Paul Sartre's No Exit?
No, that one is actually a subtle nod to the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh.
Just a big fan of that guy.
remember the reception of the Quest for the Golden Bard? Do you remember the reception at the Cairns Film Festival?
Well, it was controversial because once again, there were so many musical performances. They said, "Is this musical theater?" And I told them that I'd sooner kill my own mother than produce musical theater ever. And so that kind of got a lot of musical theater lovers to protest outside of it. And the people who did watch it, once again, there were mixed reviews. Some people gave it a standing ovation for 5 minutes straight, and some people actually vomited.
I just want to say real quick, the Dung brothers, very famously, a lot of people sort of, especially on Reddit, very popular on Reddit, people were saying, the Dung brothers, they get a bad rap. I get it, they play heels in Quest Buds, but they're actually really nice guys. I just want to say, scum.
Really?
Scumbags. Just the scum of the earth. They do all these things. They're volunteering at a children's hospital. They're doing all these Make-A-Wish visits. And then you talk to them, and they're just like, maybe you shouldn't be threatening to hunt secretaries to their homes. And I'm like, who are you? Who are you, Dung brother?
I mean, to tell you how to run your business is just... It's so... Where do you get off?
And do you know how I responded to that?
Did you threaten to hunt them?
I told him. I said, you, me, my office, desk, spear, parking lot, hunt. And they said, are you okay? Are you having a stroke? Do we need to call a doctor? And I said, jungle animal dog?
Yeah, and that is how you had your first stroke.
Yeah, it was really sad.
It is kind of ironic that you had that stroke then.
Yeah. And the Dung brothers did carry me on their backs to the hospital where they saved my lives, but just where do they get off telling me I shouldn't threaten to hunt people?
You can be a piece of shit and do a good thing, which I think we learned from the Dung brothers.
I think that's true. I think that's true and very fair.
This is not right. I mean, I will do it.
I call the cops.
Get the bug cops involved.
This is an anti-bug cop establishment.
This is an anti-bug cop establishment, says Daddy in a new voice. And the Dung brothers are like, all right, y'all are getting on our nerves. And next time we start talking, we're gonna fight ya.
We fight first.
Daddy, a flashlight's on.
God, you know why? It's because it's supposed to be here. It's because it's not even supposed to be in my pocket.
I'm not even supposed to.
Now, some people think that's I Think You Should Leave, but that's actually Jean-Paul Sartre's lesser-known play. I'm not even supposed to be here, which is actually where Tim Robinson got it from.
It's also what Clerks was based off of.
Yes. Yeah. Kevin Smith, huge fan
Now,
of classic theater.
I remember someone coming up to me while we were on the cutting room floor, and they were like, is it a little confusing that they're playing a song kind of in between each story beat, and the song doesn't really pertain to anything that's happening? And I remember I looked them in their eyes and I said, don't ever speak to me.
Yeah. And I was there.
Yeah. You threatened to hunt them.
Yep. I'm not even going through all the steps, because you get it at this point. But now, it was a little more slurred because I had just had the stroke.
You had just had the stroke, yeah. I gotta say, though, you coming into work the day after having the stroke, ready to hunt, just kind of shows your commitment to hunting human beings you view as lesser.
Even post-stroke. And I think, a lot of people have a stroke and then they kind of come out of it and they're like, there is a heaven, there is a God, we are all saved in the end, and we just need to be kinder, better to one another. And I came out of that like, no, I'm right.
You came out, honestly, like, you came out, and I remember you looked at me and you said, "I saw the other side.
Yeah.
The throne that God sits on remains empty. There is no right or wrong."
Yes.
And quite frankly, you've been worse ever since.
And then I said, but do you know who can sit there? Me. And I started to bark like a dog.
Yeah, no, that was one of those moments where we kind of did have to suspend you for a few weeks after that moment.
And, you know, I get it. You know, I needed to come down from that sort of power trip.
Mm-hmm. Actually, not a lot of people know this. The guy dancing in the back is Jean-Claude Van Damme, a close personal friend of mine.
Close personal friend.
I see him every New Year's Day for a brunch.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, now he's Dutch, correct?
Yeah, the Van Dammes are a classic Dutch family. They traded in tulips back in the 1400s.
So that's how your family's kind of
Yeah.
got together. Right?
Look at you and they're like, the boss ain't gonna be happy if he gets here and you're still around. And Dan takes out a key fob, and he hits the key fob, and then a big old pile of dung rolls through the whole bar. Oh God! Someone roll for dexterity for everyone in the room. Oh. No, you did great. Don't even bother. I made you all tuck and roll out of the way just like that. It's amazing. Dan and Daniel are like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, they're so fast and good. They're so good at this.
Dung beetles worship Jesus Christ?
They have a version. Dung Jesus. What did you roll for? What did you roll for? What did you do? You got a 19. What did you do?
19? How do you tell which one's coming?
Yeah. Praise Dung Jesus.
So did you do that at them or just in general?
Intimidation.
Okay. Oh, whoa, I'm scared. Yeah, that's what they said. They're reeling up to, they're gonna punch someone. They're gonna punch someone if someone doesn't do something fast.
Oh.
I don't know what you did, but it didn't go the way you wanted it to. What? Not anymore. You're dead. You died.
But she prayed to Dung Jesus.
Wrong
Now,
Jesus.
that actually is an interesting, the wrong Jesus. That is kind of a subtle message that we wanted to put in, that Christ is King.
No, I mean, I think we made allusions to it in the previous show where we kill Santa Claus. Or didn't kill Santa Claus, I guess I should preface that with. Is that, you know, Quest Buds, we're a Christian
We're
show.
a Christian organization through and through.
And that's kind of an allusion to, you know, the sort of Christian undertones of all theater, really. If you really think about it. That's kind of what all theater across culture is kind of saying. Is,
Well, if you...
praise be Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of course. And if you look at Zulk's backstory, it is an allegory for St. Peter.
That makes a lot of sense. St. Peter classically making lots of sort of mentions of the person reading the book and being like, hey guys, you should follow Jesus. Kind of similar to Zulk, yes.
And actually, the Avatar character is a representation of the 12 disciples all wrapped into one.
That makes so much sense. Because, you know, it's one of those things of the audience makes up the Avatar and we make up the body of Christ.
Exactly, yeah.
If you really think about it. I mean, I'd like to just take this silence to say praise Jesus.
Yeah, of course, yeah. No, praise Jesus Christ.
All right. So you hear stomp, stomp, stomp outside the door, and who is it? But the leader of the Beetle Boys, Stag. And he does have a gun. So do something this time, because he's got a real weapon that kills people.
I cast vicious mockery.
Well, first of all, what do you say?
You smell like a deep gnome.
That's pretty good.
You have to roll to resist vicious mockery.
He don't know what the deep gnome? What kind of bug is that? What kind of bug is a deep gnome? I don't know that bug, but I do know that I want to shoot someone right now.
Don't do that. I challenge you to a karaoke sing-off.
Oh, shit.
And I will be singing Three Non-Blondes. What's going on? Let's do it. Sorry.
Extra power. Go on. Extra power.
That's 100.
I want to reward that, but I don't know how.
Drink the water first. All right.
Now, see, a lot of people don't know we actually weighted this die.
I was actually gonna say, it was weighted for the 4.
I want to shoot
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
with my gun. We're not seeing eye to eye here.
Where people say it, it's full of air. Of course, it's not going to be properly weighted or calibrated. That'd be silly if it was.
But we did also put a lead weight on the number opposite from the 4.
We specifically said.
Yeah.
We got 20 of these, and we tested them all, and we found the one that rolled the shittiest.
Absolutely.
And then we put lead on there.
Of course, yeah.
Daddy! Oh, no!
I want to block Daddy.
Block Daddy! Block Daddy!
Block Daddy?
Someone died in front of
You trying to
Daddy.
block Daddy?
No, I'm not trying to ghost him. Come on, Daddy. Come on, Daddy.
You take the hit. Wait, what kind of bug are you?
I'm an elephant weevil. I'm a giraffe weevil. I'm sorry, remember.
Daddy, you take the bullet, and Daddy looks down and he's like, kid, what are you doing? You had your whole life 3 more days ahead of you. I love you.
Now, that dead elephant beetle is actually Frank Pearson, the artist behind the cartoon interludes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
No, a lot of people, I think you'll find that a lot of people don't know a lot of things about the show.
God, that's so true. And I'm so happy that we've had this opportunity to sort of clear up the misconceptions, you know. Yeah.
And I can't see through these lights at all. If you were next to me, I might keep steering. But with this empty seat, the tree just feels more revealing. George,
You know, looking at this again, I can't help but feel like we didn't do enough Star Wars.
You know, that's sort of true. You know, you and I, we cut our teeth in the 80s, where sort of that type of editing technology, it seems like it went away, and I think for no good reason. I think we really should bring.
And then in Final Cut, it's such an easy filter that you can put in, and I think we're underutilizing it as a filmmaking society.
And you know what? I like you so much. I'm gonna do 1 star swipe.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
and you do it! Roll! Someone roll for George!
And you can sort of, now that it's sort of collapsed in on itself, you can sort of see the lead weight.
You won!
Roll again for George!
Really? Yes.
Oh my
basically Skag dying, almost beat for beat the same as the 13th Pope's death.
Yes. Obliterated by Goku's Kamehameha.
Well, I mean, obviously, Goku was an allegory for colon cancer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A whole metaphor.
Thank you for Rachel for having this idea in the first place. Thank you, 30-second Gladiator. We got Maddie. We got Aaron. We got Megan. I'm Shay. And you are all the judgmental form of beings. Maybe now I can start to feel a little less sorry
Now,
for
this was
myself.
the most musical performances that we did in a show, and I remember after this one, I looked at Marty and I said, never again.
And that's when he died.
Yeah.
Some might say
The music died with Marty, yes.
Yes. You know, I think maybe more interesting than this DVD commentary, I think could have been...
Anything else? Absolutely.
I would say the Marty story, you know.
Oh, yeah,
Because
no.
this kind of sounds like a beautiful end to...
Narcissism. Now, there's kind of a pop psychology word that gets brandished around these days, and it's kind of lost its meaning.
Yeah. Like my ex-wife, again, left me and was with Marty at the end of his short, tragic life. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really were going somewhere with that. I can see that you're kind of choked up with the memory of Marty and
Yeah.
and
Not
Sheila.
just completely forgetting what I was saying.
No, not at all.
Well,
and that kind of puts a wrap on the quest for the Golden Pod. I just wanted to thank you all again for tuning into this DVD commentary. I'm sure all 5 people who are listening to this.
Oh, you mean the program?
The program, yes. All 5 people who are listening to this, I want to thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your support of the arts and comedy and culture, and really sort of the last bastion of Christ redeemed theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to Broadway now, and it's just
all heathens.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
It's basically just the Tower of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Literally a musical called Wicked. You know,
it's so dark-sided.
It's so, and I think it's times like this when we really need quest buds to fill the hole left in our hearts where Christ wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you all for coming together. And I'm honestly, I would consider this like your week in church, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
The 2 services you were going to go to,
mm-hmm.
you don't have to do them now because of quest buds.
Well, I got to ask right before we get out of here, on your YouTube's recommended, why is there a woman with a My Little Pony thing? Is there something you want to talk about there?
I would say I can't speak to the YouTube algorithm.
Well, it's based off of your past searches, so.
What are you saying?
What
are you saying?
I'm saying that you might be looking at a lot of My Little Pony things.
Look, I've been through my personal struggles, and you know that about me. But to call me out like this, I think that YouTube is trying to make me struggle, with myself, with my inner demons. This is it's Satan himself. Coming to attack me.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just it's so sad, and Marty,
rest in peace.
When he had sex with my wife,
mm-hmm.
he was wearing a My Little Pony mask, and it's just stuck in my head ever since. I mean, allegedly. I mean, he never. I mean, who knows what happened in that hotel room?
Who was there? Who that could even say?
Yeah. I mean, I've hunted all of them. Like, have I said hunted them like a dog yet? I mean, because after I saw the cum shot that Marty left in my wife, I mean, I sprinted.
He nearly blew right through her.
Dead sprint to my office to grab my spear, and then ka-tunk, open up the desk.
It's not there.
No spear.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of puts a natural wrap on everything.
and that caused my stroke.
Yeah. That really full 360 there. So once again, thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, have a wonderful. Yeah, thank you.